But there's more. There's another verse that also speaks to this point about liberate marijuana or liberate the lost sheep. Which one is it about? Well, we know Isaiah 60:21 says that we, those who are to be righteous, you know what I'm saying, not self-righteous, but righteous because we accept the good news of the King of Kings and His Christ. And we align with the will of our God Father, the King of Kings, Abba Kedus Abba Tach. And here in Isaiah 61:3 it says, to appoint to them that mourn in Zion, in the African Zion, in Ethiopia, you understand, among we, the royal family of His Imperial Majesty. It says to give to them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise of Miskana for the spirit of heaviness. People talk about, oh, I'm gonna, you know, make some dunzai, make some duns over here, some dollars over here, and I'm gonna go Ethiopia. I'm gonna do this, do that. Like I'm gonna help people how to live and all that. Man, you're not even born again. You're gonna help who how to live? You're not even living. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So this nonsense. Here's what the word says, that when we're in the mission of His Majesty, we're here to appoint to them that mourn in Zion. The first thing you have to do is identify, well, where is Zion? Some people think Zion is heaven because they flip things and switch things and abbreviate and deviate. You understand? Become derivatives. You understand? Liabilities to the King of Kings and to His government. But we are here to appoint to them that mourn in Zion, to give to them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of Miskana, of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness. So all this like kind of marijuana kind of theology, that's also antichrist, that marijuana theology. What do we mean by that? Are we saying that marijuana not there in the script? No, how you're taking it, you're not taking it according to what's authorized. You're doing your own thing. You're doing what thou wilt. You just will get down to Satanists and shit. You understand? No, straight up. No, straight up. You know what I mean? Because, see, when you recognize what the signs of the time are and you're in the spirit, you recognize how little time we got to just be talking all this peace and love crap. You understand? It's about righteousness. It's about that which glorifies Negusa Negestachin, that which glorifies our God Father in the name of Getachin Jesus Christos, that we might be called what? Trees of righteousness, not of self-righteousness. So that marijuana theology, that fake, that fake Rastaism that's surrounded around let's liberate marijuana or legalize it or all that. You see what happened to those who deviated from that way. I mean, let's understand that. We are to be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, of the Geziabe Herlotu Sabhat, the planting of our sustainer Ab, the chosen, of the firstborn chosen nation, that what? Look at that. That He might be glorified. Look at both of these verses, Isaiah 60:21 and Isaiah 61:3, and you'll notice something that's key right there. Branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. Then it says that they might be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, of Yahweh, of Jah, if you please, that He might be glorified. What's the whole purpose? What's the whole point of this? The whole point is that He might be glorified. So what the King of Kings says to us, He says, for my part, I what? I glory in what? I glory in liberating marijuana. What? I glory in that you have a dreadlocks. Well, I glory that you go to session, that you do bingy or something like that. I glory that you have enough gal, enough car, enough this, enough that. Is that what the King of Kings glories in? No. He glories in what? You understand? He's glorified because we are that righteousness. You understand? That righteousness in and through His Christ. You understand? In and through Getachina Medhanatachin Jesus Christos. Any so-called Rasta guy, gal that come and tell you something different, and you know for sure His Majesty say this, that's testified, born witness to, and some guy, gal with dreadlocks, long time, them in Rasta, them coming saying something contradictory to that. Well, it's kind of obvious, you understand, that somebody's lying. You understand? We know the King of Kings is true, So that Rasta guy or gal caught up in Rastaism is a liar. I don't care if them been Rasta a long time. You understand? They have long locks and they do enough tune and enough song and this and that and the next thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, because it's just a fact. You understand? It's the reality. And if I and I were to tell you something different, we'll be lying to you. So this is the real focus of the plant. We are that branch. But if you speak this language to people of the branch of my planting, if you say that to some of these rascals and ones called up in Rastaism, first thing they're going to think is you're talking about marijuana. Yes, I bun the ganja. You understand? But you like the branch of my planting. You know what I'm talking about? That he might be glorified. Yes, I glorified Salasia. What? Don't you know the Bible? Man, I'm not deal with the King James thing, you know, like, what? You know, it's in some bull crap, man. You know, I'm restraining myself not to make this too, because I know youths and ones that youths listen to these messages. Because we're hopeful that we may miss a lot of the older folk who are stuck in their ways, can't put no new wine, because they got too much old wine and too much nanny wine and the next kind of wine, and they're whining and they're babbling on about Babylon instead of getting with the program of the King of Kings in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting with the line of Jewish society, instead of getting with these teachings, you know what I'm saying, and getting yourself aligned with the will and the purpose of your namesake. You know what I'm saying? And stop all this other little skylarking and half-stepping. But we are to be the branch of his planting, that he might be glorified. And we are to be called the trees of righteousness. We, I. You know what I'm saying? The planting of Yahweh, the planting of he who is who he is and reveals himself in the person of Moan Besazem Negeda Yehuda Kedamawi Haile Selassie Siyume Gziavi Her Nugusa Neges Ze Ethiopia, that he might be glorified. And just to sum up, for my part, for I and I part, for my Ras Yedinos Teferi's part, I, like I and I Godfather, Christina Ab, Kedus Abatachin, glory in the Metzhaf Kedus, glory in the Bible. You, the I, you have to choose. You know what I'm saying? Choose this day who you're going to serve. Are you going to serve your own Rastaism, or are you going to serve he who is Rastafari?